over real quick. All right, Unit 8, Topic 1 is attributes. Your quiz is on Friday. Topic 1 and Topic 2 are on your quiz Friday, okay? This is a square root graph. Any square root graph will have a starting point and go to an arrow. A starting point that goes to an arrow. Before we get there, let's go in order. So x-intercept, what is my x-intercept? None, it has none, very good. It does not cross my x-axis. What is my y-intercept? 0, 4, and it must be written as a point. If you don't write it as a point, it is wrong, okay? Does this graph have an axis of symmetry? No, why not? It's a curve, which, quadratics have an axis of symmetry. It's a curve. What is an axis of symmetry where you can do what to your graph? Fold it or cut it in half. There's nowhere I can cut this graph in half. So this does not have one, so I write none. Okay? Number 4 says a start or an end point. It is very similar to a vertex. However, a vertex is where two lines meet. This is only one line. So it's asking, where does that line start? So at what point does this line start? What's that number, the point? -1, 2, right there. -1, 2. That's where the graph starts at. Okay? Number 5 is my max and min on the interval -1, 3. So remember, I have to draw lines at this -1 and at +3. Do I care about in between or outside? In between. So in between those lines, what is the highest point? What's the maximum? The max is 6. That's the highest my graph can go. What's the minimum? 2. The minimum is 2. That's the lowest my graph goes, between those lines. Does this graph have an asymptote? How do you know what graphs have an asymptote? What do they have to look like? An L. Does this look like an L? No. No. So does this have an asymptote? No. So no, oops, not no. No or none. Okay? Now, last thing, domain and range. Which way does domain go? Left to right. So if I start on the far left, what's the furthest left my graph goes? -1. Does it get a bracket or a parenthesis? Why does it get a bracket? It's a closed circle, so it has a bracket. What's the furthest right my graph goes? Positive or negative? Why positive? It's pointing to the right. Infinity always gets a parenthesis. Okay? My range, what's the lowest my graph goes? 2. Right here is the lowest it goes. There's nothing below it. With a bracket, what's the highest my graph goes? Infinity. Now, if you're not listening, I really would. This right here is called interval. Interval. It has brackets and parentheses. The assignment you're going to do asks you for inequalities. Inequalities use the greater than and less than sign. So if I took my domain and wrote it as an inequality, first of all, domain has to have the letter X, and I have the number -1. Are all my X values greater than that number or less than? They are all greater. They're all to the right. This way is greater, so they are all greater than. Does it get an equal sign underneath it? Yes or no? Why? It's a closed circle. It gets an equal sign. Here's where you really need to pay attention. You can't type that sign in your computer. So you have to type it separately. You have to say X is greater than, and then the equal sign comes right after it. Okay, so that's how you would have to type it in your computer today. Let's do the range. What letter goes with range? Y and the number 2. Is my graph above the number 2 or below the number 2? Above, so it's greater than. Okay? Wait.
Yeah.
They're not in this class, or at least they're not here. Greater than and equal to. So how will I type it in my computer? You just have to write it separate. Greater than, equal to 2. Okay? Questions? This is all topic 1 is. This is one grade on Friday. Topic 1. Okay? So today you will be, let me show you where, in Schoology. Under quarter 3. In unit 8, topic 1. When you get to your assignment, the very first thing right here is a Google Doc. If you do not type it in correctly, it will not let you move to the next question. So this is how practice typing for your quiz on Friday. There is 0 reason you cannot finish this before you leave my class. There are only 5 total, that's it, 5 graphs to be finished before you leave my class today. Are there questions? All right, then if you will get started, I will start walking around and answering questions for you.